it's like going through a ticker tape. There's so much about Barbara. She is a whole system person. So it's just like scanning, or like cards being like they do in Las Vegas with the dealers. They go through the cards or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And what would it stop on? What would it stop on if I had one moment? And I came up with two things. The first one was taking walks with her on the way to go have dinner together. We would walk to the restaurant. We would be walking along and the leaves would be on the streets. And I always wanted to make her laugh because I loved her laugh. Her laugh felt to me like in that moment when Barbara was laughing, that everything in the world was in its right place. Mm. Like a child, here is this intelligent, sophisticated, vibrantly all-knowing. And then when she would laugh, I would say something about one of her teachings in a quirky way to feed it back to her so she could experience it. And she would just burst out in laughter. And I just think that. And anybody who knows Barbara, anybody who would see her documentary, would know about that laugh. Because if you've experienced Barbara, if you've listened to Barbara, you would have had experienced that laugh. And there was one more thing, and then you can do this too.
Okay.
Was the first thing I ever learned from her. And I was, with her 12 years and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours and events and moments with her. And I raised my hand and I said to her, I have a question. And she said, oh, sure, please. You in the back of the room. How do you remember all this stuff? I mean, it's just amazing. And she said these words, pattern recognition. I have pattern recognition. And she explained how she reads things and she categorizes them in her brain. She has categories where she puts information, where she stores it, because it says something about something that she loves.
All right. So thinking about Barbara and what I would say, she looms larger than life in my personal experience. Really, she does. I cannot believe someone showed up in my life who had this combination of words: conscious, evolution, and community. This has always been my thing because I've studied evolution as an anthropologist. I turned to consciousness because my life demanded it, and community was something that grew as a need in me with my daughter. So it kind of was, Barbara was a nexus in my life of these three threads. And not only that, but she had an idea of what it meant for those three things to come together. So for a mind to find in front of itself something that satisfied its mind, satisfied it as well as its heart, as my heart, was, it became my world. It became the world I lived in. It became an explanation for the world I lived in. Mm-hmm. And it has guided me ever since. And it, in some ways, all those Tuesday mornings, I guess, too. We had so many Tuesday mornings that were about evolutionary spirituality. And we would sit around a circle and and co-create those moments. And there was a palpable feeling, and we did it so routinely for so long that I think that it birthed a habit in me of simply being with people with that intention. So I picture Barbara in those circles, you know, carrying this conscious evolution meme with her every vibration, you know, always bringing it back to this our birth is a crisis. The crisis is our birth. And what is the good in what is happening now? So it became a habit in me. What is the good that is happening now? And I think I've stepped into an embodiment of that where it's every moment lived. And Barbara in my life, she made my life the way it is now by being Barbara. That's what I'd say. Wow. I mean, I could say about a lot of people. I want to just add that. My life is a nexus of information and people who have provided that information and in different contexts. But the heart of the way my mind and my heart come together comes from this worldview and from those Tuesday mornings.
Yeah, beautiful. And my bringing together, I think, was love. You know, Barbara brought the intellect together with the heart. And the heart, I remember I grew up as a Christian Scientist, so God is love was my mantra. And so to try to bring together an intellectual concept, a mimetic construct of a worldview, how would I reconcile that with my simple little God is love? And ironically enough, couple of Barbara's kids are Christian Scientists. So she actually has a huge awareness of Mary Baker Eddy. But what I was going to say is being with Barbara allowed, like you're saying, a tapestry, a way of living to become real where the heart and the intellect could be connected. She represented the intellectual concept of love and the spiritual concept of love. And I remember the day she said that, she told us the quote that, I think it was a Japanese evolutionary thinker, I can't remember who said it, but she said, evolution optimizes. And I thought, oh my God, it's all one now. The God is love and conscious evolution, how it comes together is in evolution optimizes. And those words came out of her mouth. And it was just like a miracle, you know, just a miracle. And so, yeah, that's great. It's fun to talk about her together. Every morning, and she brought a friend with her, and you're going to remember this. And the friend said at the end of the Tuesday morning that she saw our community as a canopy. A canopy. And I think we really created a canopy there. In those Tuesday mornings and in all of the community work that is still standing. It's still informing the morphic field. And it is surrounding Barbara at all times now as we enter into this birth 2012 and beyond moment. Great. Oh, wonderful. I love it.
I need to say one more thing, and that's just the way it is with us, you know. It catalyzes something. I'm watching you, and I'm feeling so grateful. Just immensely grateful for this unfolding. You know, it began with Barbara holding a flag about an idea,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for us, but she'd been holding it for a long time, but in Santa Barbara. And then the people who rallied around the flag, so to speak, and became a community and found words for what we were doing. This word of being a habitat for a conscious evolution, it just, it was somehow very, very important and continues to be. What you're saying is that we are that canopy around Barbara. We have never ceased to be that canopy.
Yeah.
We are a habitat for conscious evolution, each one of us and together. And the unfolding that brought us to this moment, you and me, and all of the various projects that have led us to this moment, where we can reflect back on this.
Yeah. And it's all alive. You know, in this minute, as we're talking, it's bubbling aliveness. It is causal. I mean, I feel causal when we talk about this. Like, it's just bursting out into the universe, pulsating love everywhere. This is what we learned. This is the context of conscious evolution. The aliveness of each moment, each breath. Oh, it's just such gratitude.
Such gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.